WTF, a bearded transgender rabbi is now an expert on the war between Israel and Hamas? Squad member Rashida Tlaib's transgender rabbi buddy Jessica Rosenberg made news recently for demanding Sleepy Joe call for a ceasefire in the Middle East.
Mr. President, if you care
God.
about Jewish people, as a rabbi, I need you to call for a ceasefire right now.
Now fake news. CNN is treating Rosenberg like an expert on the conflict between Israel and Hamas.
What would you say to the president now?
Thank you so much for having me. I called for a ceasefire and I continue to call for a ceasefire because we cannot bomb our way to peace.
Bomb our way to peace? What is Israel supposed to do when a terrorist organization willingly attacks innocent Israelis? If Benjamin Netanyahu didn't respond and allowed the attack to go unpunished, he would receive flack for not protecting the Jewish population.
We need a political solution, not a military solution. Palestinians are fighting for equal rights in the land, and as someone who learned from Jewish tradition that all life is sacred, that is what I'm fighting for as well, and that's why I'm calling for a ceasefire.
What makes this guy think that Hamas is going to listen to a random transgender rabbi calling for a ceasefire? If Sleepy Joe, AOC, and every other member of the squad can't get the terrorist organization to value innocent civilians, why does this guy think he will make the difference? Probably because the radical left puts him on a pedestal because he's part of the Alphabet Soup Committee.
Many in the Jewish community dealing with the trauma of the massacre and, of course, the hostages who have yet to return home. But they're also dealing with anti-Semitic attacks. Perhaps, you have dealt with that as well. We are seeing that just disturbingly across the world. While you're calling for peace, what do you say to people in the Jewish community who are still dealing with all this pain?
Well, first of all, we get to grieve. We take all the space and time we need to feel the extreme grief and rage of the violence on October 7th, and to acknowledge all of what comes up when this happens, which is centuries of anti-Semitism, and killing Palestinians does not honor or bring back any of the lives of Israelis who were lost on the 7th.
Israel defending itself against the attacks had nothing to do with killing innocent Palestinians. In fact, Israel Defense Forces warned Gazans to leave the Strip before they attacked Hamas targets.
And I want to say, I know there's many non-Jews who believe that supporting Israel in this war is how to stand in solidarity with Jews or even make repair for the atrocities of the Holocaust. And I want to say that ending anti-Semitism in all the places that Jews live, everywhere, that is how you stand in solidarity with Jews.
But Hamas has and continues to be an existential threat to Israel. If your calls for a ceasefire are answered, would you be concerned that that could potentially put more Jewish lives at risk?
I'm concerned for Jewish lives and Palestinian lives and all lives. And looking towards what is the future we're visioning, it needs to begin with an end to occupation and equal rights for all people in this land. And until we have that, if Hamas is eradicated, a different group will emerge. Like that is when people are living without basic rights. That is the fundamental threat to safety in the region.
So you envision a world where Hamas runs rampant because another group will take their place if they're eradicated? If you were serious about the so-called rights you say every human has, you'd be defending Israelis' number one right, the right to life. Yet you're more worried about offending your far-left squad buddies by standing with Israel than you are about protecting all life, including Israelis.